The sun came out late yesterday, and I was thinking about it. It was like what, 5:15, 5:30, and we still had daylight outside. You know what that means, Jack? Baseball is not far away.
We are getting closer. This is February, pitchers and catchers report, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I saw a thing yesterday. I think it was like 15 days until pitchers and catchers report, 25 days until the first spring training games, and I think opening day is like 60 days away. So it is on the horizon, if you will, and that's a great time of year, right?
Yeah, it is kind of nice, especially when we're still in the kind of cold, gray part of winter here. Even if we can just turn on the TV and see somebody playing baseball in the sunshine in Florida or Arizona, I don't know. For me, it's a big psychological lift.
I totally agree. I could not agree with that statement more, Jack. You said it well and right on point. I'll tell you what, Jack. Let's dive into those Social Security topics. I'm sure people would love to listen to us talk about baseball all day. But this kind of piggybacks on a conversation we had last month. We talked about the security of our Social Security cards and making sure that you put that card in a safe place. Don't take it out. You don't need it. Just put it away. Keep it somewhere safe. This topic, though, is replacing your Social Security card. Maybe somebody did take it out and they lost their Social Security card, or it perished in something tragic that happened or something like that. How about replacing our Social Security cards?
Yeah, Seth, it's really the most common reason people visit our offices, and I won't necessarily drill that down just to replacing a card, but I'll say more broadly, Social Security card related transactions are the most common reason people visit our offices. So when you come to a Social Security office and you see a bunch of people there, most of those people are there for something to do with a Social Security card. And so I want to just make sure that people understand that over the past year or two, things have gotten easier and more convenient with our website in conjunction with Social Security card businesses, so our transactions. So if you need to get a new or replacement Social Security card, what I would recommend doing is going to our website at ssa.gov. Now you can go straight there, ssa.gov, or you can type ssa.gov/number-card, but it's probably easier just to go ssa.gov and then scroll down a little bit and click on the links for number and card. Once you're in that section, we've got a kind of a new interactive tool where it'll start asking you questions about what you want to do. And it will determine, based upon how you answer those questions, how you need to proceed. So there are a few different options. Number one, you may be able to just complete the entire process online without having to visit a Social Security office at all and have the card mailed to you. If that's not going to work for you based on your situation, which will be determined by how you answer the questions, then at least you can start most of the time the process online, figure out what you need to bring to our office in terms of identity and proof and things like that, and then book an appointment through the website that'll make that trip faster and more convenient. And then the third option is in rare occasions, you're not able to even start the application online, and you'll figure that out pretty quickly, and it'll route you to us to come visit us at a local Social Security office. So it's a really nice interactive tool to help you, number one, see if you can avoid the trip to the Social Security office altogether. But again, even if you can't, at least you can typically figure out what you're going to need to bring and schedule that appointment so that once you do come in, you're in and out pretty quickly.
Sure, very good. So a lot of good information there, Jack. And you mentioned starting the application online. That's become such a huge boost, I'm sure, for a lot of people. The convenience of being able to get that process and save time. Not having to travel to your Social Security office. For folks here in Clinton, that can be Springfield, that can be Bloomington. I remember when I was in Lincoln, that was most of the time Springfield. So you can save yourself just even an hour of driving time, not to mention the time in the office by doing a lot of things online. Such a huge convenience.
Yeah, absolutely. You raise a good point that there's not necessarily an office right next door to you. So cutting out that drive time and the time you spend in the office is a big convenience. And if you choose to take advantage of the online scheduling option, so even if you do have to come in, at least with that self-scheduling option, you're going to have some conveniences there because, number one, you can select the most convenient office to receive service at. So like you mentioned, in Clinton, you might choose to go to Bloomington. You might choose to come to Springfield. Maybe it depends. Maybe you've got other business in one of those cities, and so it'd be more convenient for you to go to whatever city you're visiting otherwise. So you could link up your appointment with that office in the town you're going to be in. So that's a real nice key to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also get things like reminders, and you could reschedule that appointment right through the app if you need to, or right through the website if you need to.
Very good. Jack, anything on that topic I didn't touch on you want to put out there for us today?
Just one more thing. If you do need to come into an office with documents, or you need to send documents to us for a replacement Social Security card or new, remember we can't accept photocopies, so you're going to need to have originals or certified copies, because I'd hate to have you make the effort of getting in and not have what you need.
Very good. So keep those things in mind. Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest on the phone for today. Jack, you and I have spent many a discussion in the last several years talking about being financially savvy when it comes to retirement, and maybe not even savvy, just prepared, that sort of thing. Now, you beg the question today, are Americans finally educated on retirement savings? What do you say?
Yeah, that is something that I think quite a bit about, Seth, and I look into and kind of, read studies and polls that are done on the subject. And, the reality of it is financial education helps people learn about things, saving, credit, loans, things like that. It also helps people prepare for changes of life and unexpected things. And it is an important part of retirement planning. So, we often wonder, are adults in the U.S. ready for retirement? And there's something that I came across recently. It was a study by an organization called the National Endowment for Financial Education. And from here on out, I'm going to say NEFE for simplicity. But they conducted a poll on how retirement savings affect people's financial well-being. And just a few little bullet points or stats from that poll. I think it was conducted around mid-pandemic time. They found out from their respondents that 85% of people confirmed that some aspect of their personal finance was causing them stress. Mm-hmm. And for 31% of those, that concern was having enough saved for retirement. So that's kind of a big thing in my mind. That's an important thing to look at. And then another thing I found interesting in that poll was when they asked about financial education mandates, 80% of adults who responded said that they wish they had been required to complete a semester or a year-long course focused on personal finance education during high school. So to me, what that said is, a lot of people had to learn the hard way on different things because they didn't really have whatever formal education they craved on financial planning and awareness and education and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And along the way, I've seen a lot of other polls that suggest Americans are behind when it comes to saving for retirement and things like that. So, I guess it all sort of rolls into this big picture that I'm seeing where it might be safe to say that, saving for retirement and financial well-being in general are significant sources of stress. And from that study, information about those topics are good ways to alleviate that stress. And with that, I kind of circle back to our website, our SSA.gov site, because we've got a lot of good tools on the website. So if you go into the SSA.gov site, you create your My Social Security account, you can get estimates of what your future benefits will be. But without even doing that, you can go to our Prepare for Retirement section, and you can learn a lot about the Social Security retirement benefits. And, we say all along that Social Security retirement benefits are not intended to be your only form of income in retirement, but for most of us, it's going to make up a significant part of your retirement puzzle. So having knowledge and having information about those Social Security retirement benefits, I think will kind of fill that financial education void to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully help you feel better about your retirement planning and maybe alleviate some of that stress that these subjects can cause.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And you've talked about those resources, Jack, that Social Security offers. That kind of coincides with just the fact of knowing your Social Security benefits. And, again, that you've pointed out to us many a time over the years that's not, Social Security was not meant to be your retirement benefit, your sole source of income during the retirement years.
That's right. A lot of times you'll hear described as like a three-legged stool, so there's Social Security income, there's any kind of personal savings income you have, any kind of pension, maybe you have some work in retirement, a lot of different ways to kind of fill out the three legs of that stool. But basically, Social Security is going to be one part of it, but you need to have other parts of it in order to have that sturdy foundation in retirement.
Absolutely. Very good. Jack, anything on that we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us?
Just one more quick reminder on where you can get those personalized estimates I mentioned. So if you go to our website at ssa.gov, you can get general information about retirement benefits. If you create the My Social Security account for yourself there on our website, then you can look at your personal estimate based on your earnings, what your future retirement benefits will be, and even kind of customizable depending on, different dates. So you can kind of run different scenarios of what it would be at different ages.
Easy enough. Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest on the phone today. We'll break here. More with Jack coming our way on the WHOW Morning Show. WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. We start the day in the red with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. March corn opening 445.5 down 2 3/4. May corn down 2 1/4, 456 1/4, and December new crop 478 down 2. March beans 1209.5 down 12 3/4. May beans down 12 3/4, 1220. And November new crop starts the day 1188.5 down 11 1/4. March Chicago wheat 589 3/4 down 5 1/2. May wheat down 5 1/4, $6 even. July wheat 605 1/4 down a nickel. March bean meal 366.30 down $2. March bean oil 45.49 down 53 cents. Opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
We are celebrating winter here at Baum Chevrolet Buick. This is Scott Baum in Clinton and Farmer City. Start the new year off with a new Chevy Silverado. We have the right Silverado to get your hauling and towing jobs done, like our 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s in gas or diesel with several trim levels, custom, LT, LTZ, or even high country. Celebrate winter today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Connexus will provide local, reliable, affordable, and speed-of-light fiber internet to Clinton. Get on the install list now by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet is coming to Clinton. Get on the install list now.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Jack Myers, Social Security, on the phone with us today. Jack, a question. Are Social Security benefits taxable as we embark on this tax season?
Yeah, they may be. So there is a possibility that you'll have to pay federal income tax on Social Security benefits. Whether or not you do is going to depend on what's called your combined income. So when you try to figure out what your combined income is, it's pretty simple. It is your adjusted gross income from your income tax return, plus any non-taxable interest, plus half of your Social Security benefits. So that figure is your combined income. And if your combined income is, well, if you file your tax return as an individual and your combined income is $25,000 or more, then you're going to have to pay some federal income tax on your Social Security. If you file a joint return and your combined income is $32,000 or more, then you're going to have to pay some federal income tax on your Social Security. And if you're married and file a separate tax return, you're most likely going to have to pay federal income tax on Social Security. So there is a pretty good chance it's going to be taxable if you have, we talked in the first segment about that three-legged stool. If you've got that three-legged stool and you have streams of income in retirement, chances are taxation is going to be part of the picture. In the state of Illinois, you don't have to pay state income tax on Social Security benefits. There are some states where you do. So if you're thinking about moving out of Illinois, take a look at wherever you're headed, see if they tax Social Security benefits, and see if you have to think about that as well. I gave you kind of the thresholds where you start paying taxes, but these are a little bit kind of sectioned off. So basically, if you have between 25 and 34 as an individual, then you're going to pay federal income tax on up to half of your Social Security benefits. If you're over 34,000, then you're going to have to pay federal income tax on up to 85% of your benefits. And as a joint return, that number, that range, I guess, is 32,000 to 44, and then above 44,000, you're paying federal income tax on 85%. So I don't want to scare anybody. Sometimes when you're hearing these numbers and these percentages, if you only hear part of it, you hear that 85 or 50%, and you think, what? But I just want to point out, remember, whatever your effective tax rate is, that is what you will pay on up to 50% or on up to 85% of your Social Security benefits. So it doesn't mean that you're paying 50% or 85% tax. So just a little bit of a clarification there. And for anybody who is figuring this out for the first time as they're doing the taxes in 2024 for 2023, if you would like to have federal income taxes withheld automatically from your monthly Social Security benefits going forward, you can do that. There is a form called a W-4V as in Victor, and the IRS will allow us to withhold either 7, 10, 12, or 22%. So you can get that filled out and submitted to us. You'd either send that to us, mail it to us, drop it off, whatever you want to do to get that W-4V to us, and we'll start withholding that from your monthly payments. You can start it, stop it, change it. It is voluntary, so it's kind of up to you on how you have that done.
Very good. A lot of good stuff there, Jack. That's a lot to consume. Did we miss anything you want to put out there for us with that one?
One thing I did forget to mention is that in order to help you figure out what your benefits were and, that formula that I just talked about, every year we send out an SSA 1099. So if you received Social Security benefits last year in 2023, in January, you should have received an SSA 1099 showing how much your benefits were in 2023. And then if you had any federal withholdings set up, it would show that on that form as well. So that should have been received in the month of January. But if you can't put your hands on it, you don't know where it is, you're not sure you got it, you can also, now that we're into February, you can go into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and you can print out a replacement. So you can get that replacement 1099 through your My Social Security account, but you should have gotten it in the mail. And another quick note on that, if you receive SSI benefits only, which is supplemental security income, that is different from Social Security. That is a needs-based program. You have to have low income, few resources in order to qualify for SSI. SSI benefits are not taxable. So if all you received in 2023 were SSI benefits, you will not have a 1099 coming.
Easy enough. Again, Jack, where do folks go for information on all of that good stuff there?
Check out our website at ssa.gov, or give us a call at 800-772-1213.
Very good. Jack, let's wrap up our conversation and talk about scams. This is a topic that never gets old. It's timeless. How about this one?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it gets old to me. But unfortunately, it is timeless, and we do have to keep talking about it. And the reason I say it gets old is just the obvious one, and I know you feel the same way about it, Seth. It's just that we're so frustrated when we hear stories of people falling victims to these scams. But unfortunately, they aren't going away. They seem to be getting more and more sophisticated. So what I'd like to do is share a couple things just so people can understand, and I guess just keeping talking about them is the best thing we can do to try and defend against them. You want to make sure you're kind of staying on top of the latest scam trends. So we've got information that we're constantly putting on our website, ssa.gov/scam, so you can go there to read information. I would also recommend that you follow reliable news sources on these sorts of things. Stay connected with local law enforcement agencies, as they often put alerts out on their social media. So when they hear about things in the community, they typically will give you a heads up on their social media channels, so look for that sort of stuff. Think carefully before sharing any personal information. Phishing is something that's used a lot in these scams. Basically, that's the term that describes when scammers attempt to trick you into providing your personal information. And there are a variety of ways they do it. They'll try to call you via phone. They'll try to email you, text message you, send you other kind of messages through social media to gain your information. Sometimes they'll have some information, and they're just looking for you to confirm or fill in the blanks. So just stay alert when you're receiving calls or messages that you did not request, even if they claim to be from the bank, from a government agency, or some other well-known company. And if you're in doubt about the authenticity of that person or that sender, then I always encourage you to verify their identity directly through that organization at a number that you got somewhere else, not from something that they gave you. So verify it by calling a number that you can find on your own, not something that they gave you.
Jack, great stuff as always. Website for Social Security is?
ssa.gov.
Jack Myers, Social Security, our guest on the phone this morning. Network news on the way.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton, 106.5